Hello, my name is and I'm the Helpful Gamer. Today I'm going to show you how I built this skull face mask that I use for my Sea of Thieves playthrough on Twitch. As you can see, I've got ear holes cut on either side of the mask so I can wear my headphones while streaming. And the front of the mask comes off my mouth a bit so I can actually have a microphone. But the back is really tight so I can move around pretty easily and not drop it off. So this is the finished mask with all the painting completed. And I wanted to show you the materials I used to make this one. Scissors, really important. Little mirror, make sure I got everything on right. These are plaster bandages. You can get these from a craft store. I cut them down into strips. Makes it a lot easier to deal with instead of the giant rolls. Saran wrap, clear plastic wrap, whatever. Masking tape, really important. And we're going to use these items to build the crown of the mask first. This is how the whole thing is held on your head. So that's the most important. And then we build the face out from there using the masking tape. You want to wrap your face kind of tight with the cling wrap. Trying to get from your eye holes and above. You don't really want to cover up your mouth because it'll be kind of difficult to breathe, which it's starting. Oh, that looks pretty good. Let's wrap a couple of layers here. You need several to make sure everything is fitting well. I may have to check here. That looks pretty good. And remember, eyes above. We're going to take the masking tape and now we're going to wrap the top of your head. Again, from your eyebrows up. Don't go below, that way you don't tape the entire thing to your face. Try to put on several layers. And here's the finished skull cap, basically, for my eyebrows above, all the way around. See that? And that's covering the saran wrap, so we can lift it off our heads. So we're going to cut the excess saran wrap off, cling wrap, whatever, just so we leave the finished skull cap to work with. Okay, I'm going to layer on a few more strands of masking tape to make sure that skull cap is nice and solid. There we go. I'm starting to build the face of the skull now. You can kind of see the beginning of that. Big eye holes at the beginning. We can change the shape later. I kind of drew everything out with a Sharpie. That's my friend there. So now I'm going to draw in where the nostrils are going to go. And cheekbones. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe some eyebrows where we're going to layer and get some three-dimensional quality in there. That's pretty good. There you go. And I'm also going to draw where I want the ear holes. Remember, we're going to wear some headphones with these, so you need plenty of space around your ears to put on big headphones. And there we go. Okay, now I'm taking some scissors and I'm going to cut out the excess parts and give the face a little bit better shape. There we go. Cut out the ear holes here. There we go. It's pretty good shape. I like that. And just a quick fitting test. Oh yeah, pretty good. Eye holes line up where I need them to be. Right above my brow. Mouth is right where it needs to be so I can still speak. Remember, I'm going to put the mic in there as well, so the cheeks need to come forward, and the big ear holes for the headphones fit pretty good, I think. Now, the finished piece is a pretty solid piece of plaster, and I've cut these strips of plaster into like 1 inch or so, 1 or 2 inches, and then you layer these on top of the masking tape. And with these plaster strips, you want to get them kind of soaked in water, and when you push them on, you smooth the plaster through the pores of the bandage. You can see that there. It makes it solid. Yeah, zoom in a little bit. Let me get another layer on here. So put a strip on and smooth them together like that. The plaster moves from bandage to bandage and creates like a seal. I'll put a few more on here so you can see it. And I'm just using regular water, soaking it, and then layering right on top of the head. This is where you want to take your time and really layer on the plaster, filling seams and shaping it while you're layering, because you want a really strong base to build everything off of. So this is the first full layer, front and inside. I wrapped around the eye sockets and the mouth to make it stronger. We can go back and trim it if we have to, but make sure these brow pieces and mouth line up and the back of the skull gets wrapped around so that you get a strong surface. And I started building out the mouth sections. You can see here I layered a little bit more three-dimensional with strips of the plaster. You can fold them and add even more depth to them. Okay, I've drawn on where the brows are going to go and where the nostril and the teeth are. And now I'm going to use an X-Acto blade to cut out the nostril here. I've waited till the plaster's dried a little bit, but it's not super dry. So it's still kind of easy to get into here. Okay, so we got that done. Now, next materials, we have flat paint brushes, just cheapos, a Hulk fist full of water, some paints here, and this one's really important. This is my Black 2.0 Culture Hustle. It is the mattest matte black paint that you can buy. So we're going to use that as our base coat, and I am going to basically soak the entire mask in this black to make it one uniform color. Okay, the next step is I have my baby bottle of metallic silver. I'm gonna just splotch that on. I'm not trying to get a solid coat, I'm trying to just kind of push it into crevices. You want a texture to it, you don't want it to be solid. And this paint specifically will shine in the sunlight and kind of move around like it's iridescent. So I'm kind of pushing it around into different surfaces. Make sure you do not go inside the eye sockets. You want those to be really deep. And the same thing with the nostril there. Don't push any color in there. You want those to sink. Okay, now I'm using some white and some water to go back in and hit the highlights. Just adding some shine and contrast. Any area that you want to stand forward, hit with the white color. Eyebrows, nostril, top of the lip, teeth, cheeks. You want them to kind of move forward while the black keeps everything else flat. Especially right here on the cheeks. Okay, so we got a little bit more ghostly and standing forward here. I like a lot of the white on the top of the skull and the cheeks. We don't want it to come off as like a, bright and shiny skull, but we want it to come off as kind of old and decrepit. Okay, so I'm going back in now with the matte black, and I'm going to draw in the shapes of the designs on the top of the skull here with the black first. I like the black because it gives you a nice base coat for a nice pop of color. That green needs to kind of really stand out, so I'm just going to paint the squares like on this other mask here. Okay, so we got the basics painted in here now with the black, and now I have two colors of green here, kind of a darker and lighter fluorescent green. And we're going to go right over the top of that black once it's dried. And we're going to splotch it in. I'm not going to brush it. I kind of want globs of the green to give you that texture with the darker green first. Okay, now that that's dried, I'm going in with the lighter green and a little bit of white to kind of give it a glowing effect around the edges, blending in the darker green and the light green. Still want to leave that outline of black, but you want to kind of fill in the edges with the lighter green to make it look like it's glowing a little bit. And I also add some UV coat paint so that under a black light it actually shines and can glow in the dark. Okay, so this is the finished paint job, the basic build. And put that on to check. Looks pretty good. Eyes line up where I want them to be, and fits pretty solid. I went back on my other mask and did some gold leafing and added different teeth, and I'll probably change this one up a little bit too, since it fits different, but I'm gonna add some different things on the side here. I want to change the ear holes, but that's it. Now you know how I made the skull face mask, and I hope to see you on my Twitch channel streaming Sea of Thieves.